For years now, Bali has been one of the biggest creator hubs in the world. Travel YouTubers, influencers, digital nomads, remote workers, and entrepreneurs have flocked to the island, building businesses online while living in paradise. But recently, Bali immigration authorities issued a warning that has sent shockwaves through the creator community. Foreign influencers, content creators, and digital nomads are being warned that activities many people assumed were perfectly normal could actually violate the conditions of a tourist visa. And the more I've looked into this story, the more I've realized that nobody seems to agree where the actual line is. So before we get into it, I think the most interesting part about this story for me is not actually about Bali itself. It's about something much bigger. Because the more I've looked into this crackdown, the more I've come to realize that nobody can really agree where the actual line between work and tourism is. For example, if somebody gets a free hotel stay in exchange for content, is that considered work? If somebody owns a business overseas, which they run from online, and they answer emails while they're in Bali, is that considered work? Or if somebody takes a photo or films some content while they're in Bali and then they post it months later, is that also considered work? These sound like simple questions, but they're actually a lot more complicated than what you might think. So let's break down exactly what's happening and why people are paying attention to this story. Recent reports indicate that Indonesian immigration authorities have increased enforcement around foreigners conducting commercial and promotional activities while on tourist visas. Officials have specifically warned that activities such as sponsored content, barter collaborations, and promotional work may require the appropriate visa and immigration permissions. Authorities have also reportedly stated that receiving free accommodation, meals, products, or services in exchange for promotion may still be considered commercial activity. So this is where things start to get really interesting, because most people aren't arguing about the law itself. Obviously, you should have the right visa if you're going to work in a country. They're arguing about where that line is actually drawn. So just as an example, if you're not making any money off your content, but you have an audience and you get a free hotel stay and you then share that with your audience, could that be considered paid work? I think the Bali immigration is arguing that yes, now it is considered working and you should be on the correct visa in order to do that. And this is how a lot of the advertising is actually done in Bali, through the creator economy. So they're not paying people to advertise, but they are leveraging their big audience. Something as simple as a free meal in exchange for attending somebody's restaurant and then snapping some photos and sharing that with your audience, that would fall then into that same work category. And I understand that. However, this is where it starts to get a little bit more complicated and nuanced, because let's just take example somebody who maybe has a big Instagram following and they come to Bali for a holiday. And of course, they're going to take some pictures, they're going to share some content, maybe make a reel or two for that Instagram account. Maybe it's not sponsored, maybe they're not having any affiliation with any company or anything in Bali, but they are in Bali and they are taking content like many people do. Now, if they generate some sort of affiliate income just through their Instagram page, so people visiting their page, clicking on affiliate links and buying some of their products or whatever it is, then would that be considered work? It sounds like it would be under these new laws, or at least the way these laws are being interpreted now, because it's not actually a new law, it's just a crackdown of existing laws. And then there's YouTube AdSense revenue. So somebody who has a YouTube channel and is visiting Bali, but maybe they're not even making content, they're just editing content that they filmed from another country. Is that considered illegal work under this rule? I'm not too sure. Or even if they're creating content in Bali and it generates AdSense revenue from overseas or sponsorships from overseas, but the content's taken in Bali, is that work? And this goes for pretty much every country in the world, like all of Southeast Asia, Europe, North America. If you go to those countries and you have an online following and you're filming your travels there, are you working in those countries illegally? And I think a lot of people who watch YouTube would argue, yes, like you should have the right type of visa. But this is where I find it kind of confusing, because take, for example, somebody who runs a physical business in their home country, maybe let's say Australia. So let's say you have a construction company in Australia. You come to Bali for a month because you can, because you got somebody else running the company for you. If you're taking client phone calls while you're in Bali, if you're taking meetings and you're doing all that sort of stuff just to keep your business running while you're not there, is that the same thing? Are you technically working illegally in Bali. Even just doing something as simple as responding to emails while you're in Bali, is that considered work? This is where it gets a little bit confusing, but it definitely feels like they're targeting content creators who are creating content on a barter negotiation deal in Bali specifically. The internet has created an entirely new category of work that immigration systems were never really designed for. And honestly, that's one of the reasons this topic has exploded online, because so many people's work now exists entirely on the internet. Whether you're a creator, a remote worker, a business owner, or just somebody who travels regularly, most of your life now exists inside a handful of online accounts. Your email, your banking, your travel bookings, your social media accounts, your entire business. And if you've been watching our channel for a while now, you might have noticed that over the previous month, we were actually dealing with a cyber attack through some phishing emails, and our YouTube account was compromised for a few days because of it. That was honestly a pretty brutal reminder that cybersecurity is super important, and that's why for the past few years we've partnered with Surfshark. When you're traveling, you end up using public Wi-Fi all the time. Cafes, hotels, airports, train stations, you name it. And it's easy to forget that most of these networks aren't actually secure, which means your personal data, things like emails, passwords, and even banking information can potentially be exposed without you realizing it. And when we travel, we're constantly online. We're booking hotels, we're checking maps, we're uploading videos, replying to emails, and managing our business. And that's why we use Surfshark. It's a VPN that encrypts your connection and hides your IP address, so your activity stays private even when you're using public Wi-Fi. It also blocks ads and trackers and includes features that can alert you if your data appears in a breach or help protect against phishing attempts. Plus, when certain websites or content are restricted depending on where you are, Surfshark lets you change your virtual location so you can continue accessing everything as normal. It's really simple to use, and one account covers unlimited devices, which means everything we travel with stays protected. So if you want to check it out, head to surfshark.com/LloydandMandy or use code LloydandMandy at checkout. You'll get a discount, 4 extra months included, and there's also a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now back to the story. So this crackdown isn't just something that's happening out of the blue or in isolation. Bali's experienced enormous growth in tourism, influencer culture, and remote work over the past decade. And at the same time, Indonesian authorities have increasingly emphasized that foreigners must use the correct visa for the activities they're undertaking while in the country. Immigration has repeatedly stated that ordinary tourists sharing holiday photos aren't the target. The focus appears to be on commercial, promotional, and business-related activities. And if I'm being honest, I think this is where very reasonable people can disagree on this topic. Some people believe that this has been a long time coming and influencers should be targeted and the laws should be enforced much more aggressively, because there is an overwhelming amount of content creators and influencers in Bali. Whereas other people think that maybe immigration and governments are really struggling to keep up with a world that's moved online, and pretty much everybody now has an online following. And majority of people make their income through that online following or online, especially people coming through places like Bali. And that's honestly where the conversation gets pretty interesting, because I actually think the bigger conversation here isn't about Bali, it's about the future of work. 20 years ago, it was pretty obvious whether someone was working or not. If you came to a country and you wanted to work illegally, 20 years ago, you would probably get a job at a hotel or a bar or something. And I remember when I was traveling through Central America, even in 2010, I met people who were working at hostels or bars, and they weren't on a work visa, but technically they weren't getting paid. They were just getting free food and accommodation. And this was quite a normal thing to do. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening now, except it's happening through online content. But these days, someone can sit at a laptop and run a company, edit videos, manage clients, upload content, earn advertising revenue, sell digital products, invest money, answer emails, you name it. And they can do all of that without ever engaging with a local employer. It's not that the rules have necessarily changed, but the way that people work has. So here's an article that was recently published by the Economic Times, and I'm going to share this with you guys in the link below. But it says Indonesian immigration authorities have clarified that foreign tourists in Bali could face penalties for carrying out unpaid promotional or work-related activities while traveling on tourist visas, as officials tighten scrutiny of visitor behaviour on the island. Authorities said travellers must ensure their activities match the purpose of their visa and stay permit, warning that even unpaid collaborations or content creation may violate immigration rules if they carry economic value. The clarification comes as Bali continues to record strong international tourist arrivals, with Indonesian officials saying the island receives more than 7 million foreign visitors annually. According to authorities, officials are paying closer attention to unpaid collaborations, social media promotions, and project-based activities carried out by foreign visitors. The guidance is expected to affect influencers, photographers, DJs, yoga instructors, wellness practitioners, and other creators traveling to Bali for collaborations, retreats, or exchange-based projects. Indonesian immigration said unpaid activities are not always automatically allowed under tourist or socio-cultural visas. The agency identified several activities that could trigger scrutiny, including photography services, makeup artistry, endorsements, commercial promotions, business-related social media content, and other work-like activities that involve benefits, even if unpaid. Officials said that even without direct payment, the activity could still create promotional or portfolio value and therefore may be viewed as carrying economic benefit under immigration regulations. Authorities said travellers planning professional collaborations or commercial activities may need to apply for other visa categories such as business visas, work permits, volunteer visas, investor visas, or artist and performer visas. So I'll leave a link to that news article in the description below, but honestly, there's tons of articles and videos being made about this. It's quite a big deal in Bali, but I'm interested to know, what do you guys think? Should influencers, content creators, YouTubers require a specific visa in order to create content while they're in Bali? Or do you think the government is trying to apply old definitions of work to a world that has completely changed over the last couple of decades? I think it's a good conversation. I think it's pretty interesting, and I'd genuinely love to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. And if you found this video helpful at all, as always, please hit the like button. And if you genuinely like it and you want to see more travel related content, hit the subscribe button for more. Okay, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.